What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer in Milwaukee.
Oh, gosh, I interrupted you again. I'm sorry. I'm Jim Love. I'm a keynote and motivational speaker, also in Milwaukee.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast. When we don't have guests on like we do every other week, we are talking about the things that side hustlers go through. And today I think is an important one. We are talking about health. And that could be mental health, that could be physical health, all of the above. When you're juggling, having a job, having a side hustle, having all the other passion projects that you're involved with, sometimes it can take a toll on your health.
Yes, and time tends to run short, and you have to dedicate that time to the parts that matter.
Yes.
Which means getting up and abandoning ship for a little while, and walking around, right? And doing whatever. But I think moving away from your space and causing a moment of disruption is always a big help.
Yeah, absolutely. I started running a few years ago and really like getting into that and like trying to set a goal for myself because of course I set goals for everything.
Goals. Yep.
Yeah, right. But trying to make sure that I'm out there regularly, at least, throughout the year. And it is the reset. It's the one time that I actually like put my phone on like do not disturb. And like, I don't know, I realized that my phone probably goes off like 100 times a day. I realized that this week where I was sitting there and it was a particularly busy day, I was like, it's got to go off 100 times between texts, emails, all the shit that goes on.
It really is wild. Like there's just so much stuff and it gets overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
And especially when it'd be one thing if you were just doing one thing all day, but if you listen to the show, you're probably not. And like us. And so it's important to find your groove, to find the things that, and I say this a lot, but the things that work for you, because everyone has their own way to approach physical or mental health. And for me, I know that like after a long day, I need to go to the gym like for like 45 minutes to just be there and look at stuff. No, I mean to do like cardio or just something that will take my mind off.
He just watches the TV at the gym.
They got great big screen TVs. It's wonderful.
There's 7 whole channels.
It's weird, but it is important, and that's not for everyone. I know people who go out and swim. I know people who just go for a 1 hour walk or or like at lunch I have people that work out and kind of do their thing. But there has to be something that takes you away from sort of the mundane parts and don't associate stress with what you're doing at all times because it makes it more difficult if that's the case.
Yeah. Do you find when you go work out, is that like, I find this at least that I just forget everything. It's not like I don't come back to those, but like that's so far out of my brain, especially like running, because like I'm thinking, one, I want to hit, a good time or whatever. But the other part of me is also like I can't focus on anything else. Like I focus on like literally just breathe. Breathe, right? Get your rhythm down.
I would say it takes me probably 10 minutes until I'm getting into something where I start getting out of breath, right?
Yeah.
Then I stop focusing on it because it's like, my mind sort of wanders. But it takes a bit. But once I do get to that spot, and then when I come home, I was far enough removed from it where I can step into what I need to do if needed.
Sure.
So it is important. And then on the same token, like just mental health. I know we've talked about this on this podcast a couple times, just generally. But but there's whether it's you got to meditate, you go pray, go do whatever you need to do to get yourself into a better space, because it's hard to approach like life generally, but juggling these side hustles and your career when you're blocked up, in your mind.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to get rid of things and to find your way to find space.
Oh, totally. I find that when it's a really busy week, especially when there's tons of meetings, tons of content that gets made or whatever it ends up being, like I am becoming more conscious of like, I need to step away from something. I need to figure out either to forget or come to terms with like, hey, I'm having a really busy week or a shitty week or whatever happens. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So like, I have to be a little more conscious of that. And I'm figuring out the ways that work for me to kind of deal with that too, which is something that I think everybody that's got a side hustle, a business, whatever, we all love being busy all the time, and we love being, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a flex to be like, hey, I'm crazy busy this week.
We're all crazy busy, right?
I got these meetings, I got all this stuff, I'm making moves, all this stuff. Okay, but you also need to take some time for yourself, and that is something that I struggle with, but I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the coping mechanism for that? What is the way to do that? What works best for me and is still fits into my world. You know what I mean?
I think the one thing is, I use the term unplug. I'm awful at that. So I find a harmony where like, if I'm out doing something, maybe when I'm in the car for an hour, that's when I go check stuff. Like if I'm actually unplugged, I'm stressed out. I think I'm missing a lot.
Yes, like, so I'm the same way.
And I'm just not. I've tried this, by the way. I've tried to do it. I've tried to be like, I'm off my phone, but I care too much. And I would rather have my things under control than be like, oh my gosh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
And if that means I check in twice, then I check in twice.
Yeah.
And like I've told my team that, like I have to be there.
Right.
And I've accepted that fact about me. And I've tried to do the thing where I'm not there, but I'm thinking about what's going on, you know, and not that I don't trust people obviously to get stuff done in my absence, but that's just not how I'm wired.
I'm that way too.
Yeah,
the thing that is scary is not the do not disturb button.
Yeah.
It's when you shut the do not disturb button off and then all the notifications come in while you're gone.
Exactly.
So that I think is something that I stress with that too, and cannot unplug. The other thing that for me is really weird that I grew up skateboarding, right? Mm-hmm. So I try to get out on a skateboard sometimes. Mm-hmm. I wish I could say I'm avid and I'm back at it. I want to be. I just cannot find time to make it happen. But when I do that, like I revert to like little kid mode for like a little bit. Important. And like sometimes you need to find the thing that makes you a little kid again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and like I'm not jumping down flights of stairs. I'm skating curbs or small transitions or something like that. But like do that thing that puts you back in that little kid space. Because oh my god, that is like it's something.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
How volleyball is for me.
Yeah,
I've been playing volleyball since I was in 5th grade, and when I get back on the court, like I'm competitive again, but like I'm having fun. Like, it's a good time, and that's very much. I play every Wednesday. Shout out to Tracks Volleyball here in Milwaukee, but that's where I go, and you know I definitely when I lose I leave and I'm in a really crap mood, but that's okay. I had my escape for a little while.
But then you realize like you're being mad about volleyball,
about
not
nothing,
mad about work, not mad about
exactly.
your side hustle, whatever.
So it works out. When I win, I mean, then it's great. Ice cream on me, so it works out well. But I think the moral of the story is both parts of your health matter, and you need to figure out the ways to find your space and make sure that you are being productive, and then also taking time for yourself because it's critical. And if you don't do it, you're going to burn out. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because our time is important enough to make that happen. So make sure you find that time for yourself.
Yes. So figure out whatever it is that you can do to make yourself feel better, not only physically but mentally. And then tell us about it, because I mean I think this is a good place to share. So share it with a comment, do whatever. So. Let's talk about it, because I think we definitely need to. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. You can check us out every week. We've got guests every other week. We can find us everywhere. We're Hustling Sideways on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on all of the places.
Everywhere.
Threads. You name it, we've got it. We're also wherever you can get your podcast. You can give us a 5-star review, because those help us in the big old internet world that we're trying to disconnect from sometimes. And if you want to be a guest, you can do that. Send us an email, hustlingsideways@gmail.com. But we are out of here for today. So, Jim,
keep on hustling.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.